This week, U.S. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg is traveling across the Midwest, and among his many stops is right here in Milwaukee. We're welcoming him to 12 News this morning. Thanks so much for being here today.
Well, thanks for having us in, although I'm kicking myself that we timed our trip so we're missing the state fair. We should have hung around an extra day.
I know. You are missing out on some very good food, I'll tell you
We'll just have to come back.
Definitely. So one of the big things that you're doing here, especially today, is you're touring the Port of Milwaukee, and that is something that got $9 million from the infrastructure law, that bipartisan infrastructure law. How is that money being used to help that port and specifically farmers?
So that funding is going to help with cargo handling equipment that will increase the capacity of the port for agriculture exports. Part of why I'm here is that I think when Americans see ports on TV, usually you're seeing these big container ports bringing in things like flat screen TVs from Asia. Obviously very important, but another very important side of America's ports has to do with the export side, making sure that things like our amazing agricultural products that we grow right here in the Midwest and in America's heartland get out to the rest of the country and the rest of the world, bringing income back home. In order for all of that to work, you got to have strong supply chains, and part of that is our Great Lakes ports. They're not the world's biggest ports, they're not moving millions of containers, but they're incredibly important for the communities they serve. Yesterday I was in Menominee and Marinette, right up at the base of the UP, and then we were in Manitowoc, two examples of ports that are very important for all kinds of different supply chains. And the same is true right here in Milwaukee. So I'm looking forward to seeing how those dollars from the Biden-Harris infrastructure package are going to help and the benefits that's going to have for the economy here.
Yeah, I believe I read that some farmers are hopefully going to be at the port with you today to sort of talk about their experience. Have you gotten any feedback about how these changes are affecting these communities? Yeah,
we spent some time yesterday with the State Secretary of Agriculture, and he's going to help us convene a number of ag exporters this morning to get more of a feel for that. What we know is that it helps with the economics of their ability to ship out their goods and get the supplies that they need too. And this is maybe one of the sides of our fight against inflation that you don't hear about as much. But part of what affects prices is shipping costs. If we have better port facilities, better supply chains, better railroads, all of which we're investing in right now, that can ease the pressure both for sellers and buyers, which is helping consumers at home as well as our farmers.
You're also going to be taking a look at the Amtrak with Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers. That is a line that was just kind of made recently too between Minnesota and Wisconsin. What will you be looking at with Amtrak?
Yeah, I'm really excited to see this. I've noticed there's a lot of enthusiasm on the ground here in Wisconsin for improved passenger rail. As many people know, our president is also a big passenger rail enthusiast, and there's a lot of funding in the bill in order to get that done, not just because we're all rail buffs, but because this is also good for the economy. A good economy has a lot of options for people to get to where they need to go, whether we're talking about a commute or a longer trip. That Borealis line linking all the way toward Minnesota is an exciting example of new service. We're also funding some planning projects for better links from Milwaukee to Green Bay, Madison, Chicago, that we also think will create better options for people in the future. I know this has been a priority for the governor. Really looking forward to seeing it for myself.
Yeah, something a lot of people have been talking about for sure. Vice President Kamala Harris just announced she's coming back to Wisconsin next week and that she's bringing along her running mate that has yet to be announced. I would be remiss if I didn't ask, are you in contention for becoming VP?
You know, because I'm here as secretary, I just can't talk about the campaign side. What I can say is, of course, I'm really proud to work in this administration, proud to work with our president, and very proud to work with our vice president too.
How important are places like Wisconsin to that presidency, and especially in an election year? It is a big swing state.
Yeah, well, again, leaving aside the election side of things, what I'd say is, you know, this is a part of the country that has really benefited from an agenda that's about investing in America. You see the manufacturing job growth, you see the improvements to our infrastructure, whether it's, billion-dollar projects like the Blatnick Bridge up north, or things a little closer to home, like the improvements that are happening on 6th Street right here in Milwaukee. We're working to benefit every part of the country, red, blue, and purple. But as somebody who grew up in the industrial Midwest, lives in Michigan, served as mayor in northern Indiana, I've seen how those kinds of improvements are especially helpful for our part of the country.
Definitely. Well, we will continue to follow your visit here today in Wisconsin, and we'll be bringing updates on 12 News throughout the day.